we're currently in Islamabad. Obviously, we started the tour in Multan. First 2 tests were there, so it's been a nice change of scenery, really, to come across to Islamabad after spending nearly 3 weeks, at the first venue. So, good change of scenery for us for the last test match, obviously a deciding test match of the series. So, it's exciting, really. Big week coming up for the team, and hopefully we can come away with a series win, which will obviously be an incredible achievement in conditions which are obviously very foreign. Yeah, I mean, it does change over the years. You look back to when I first toured as my first England tour was back when I was 21. So, obviously a very different stage of my life. I look back, pre-wife and children, and touring probably was a bit easier in terms of, you only had yourself to think about, no responsibilities back home. Whereas obviously the older you get, I've now got children, you tend to miss home a hell of a lot more. But at the same time, still got a great love for it, still love doing what I do, still, enjoy the challenge of playing in different conditions. And obviously representing England is still high up on my priority list to do, even at the stage of career that I'm at. So, you never take any sort of tour or, cap for England for granted. And, it still feels the same from that side of things. But it certainly just makes life a little bit more challenging when you've got a family back home and you're away for long periods of time. So, as much as you try and enjoy it, you obviously still miss home, and it does change as you get older, for sure. Certainly got harder.
Congratulations on taking your 600th first class wicket. Just initially, what does it make you feel when you hear that?
I think what it does make me think is how much hard work you have to put in to get there. I remember when I got my first class wicket, and to be thinking that I'm sat here with 600, I never have thought that would have been a possibility. So I look back across across a long career and think how much hard work you have to put in to achieve that, how many overs you have to put in, not only in match time but also in practice, to kind of try and master your craft, so to speak. And even now at the age of 35, I still feel like I'm still learning new ways to take wickets, to work batsmen over, and obviously still putting in the hard yards to stay fit and stay on the park, which I think is half the battle as a fast bowler. It's making sure that you are in the best condition possible to be able to tolerate bowling in, whether it be in England or in Pakistan, whatever the conditions are, is being able to run in and bowl 25 overs a day and still be as good in your 25th as you are in your first. I feel very lucky in terms of having the opportunity to do that for Warwickshire, for England, a few other teams that I've played for. But I think also a lot of hard work, and kind of you look back and give yourself a pat on the back on how much sacrifice and hard work you put into to get there.
I think you say a flat pitch, but I've got some stats here about your actual 600th wicket. Delivery to dismiss Shafiq swung 2.31 degrees away before deviating 1.58 degrees back in. And the expected batting average against that delivery is 2.8.
Do you know what the beauty of it is you run in and try and bowl your best ball, obviously, majority of the time, unless you're trying to bowl variations or whatever it be. But, you try and bowl that ball, and you only bowl it once in 1,000, really. I was probably, the ball was probably a little bit fuller than you probably want to hit, probably want a little bit shorter than that. But, thankfully for me, it was a ball which moved a little bit off the wicket, off a crack, and it makes it look a magic ball, doesn't it? But I think the amount of hard work you put in, and I suppose there's many balls that you don't get wickets with. It's always nice to get one like that, especially maybe with it being the 600th, made it that little bit extra special.
There's one other bear that's also with England, but he's with you, young Taz.
Yeah.
Been in the nets. Have you been facing him?
Yeah, I actually faced him this morning. Actually, that's not the first time I faced him, because I faced Taz back at Warwickshire a few times. But again, like quite a quiet guy is Taz, but also quietly confident as well. You can tell he's got that confidence about him, and I think that's important to have as well, is that ability to back yourself even at a young age. I think he's got a real big future in the game. Bowling leg spin and bowling wrist spin is an incredibly difficult skill, and naturally he's only going to get better with age. And I think coming into an environment like this, the England Test team at such a young age, being able to kind of rub shoulders with, the spinners that we have, whether that be, the finger spinners or, even for Taz to rub shoulders with Rayan Ahmed as well, who's obviously played Test cricket for England, had success. I think it's going to be, a great learning curve for him. And as I said, he's a quietly confident lad. He's not in your face, and he is quite quiet and quite shy. But I also think he's got that sort of, it's not arrogance, but he's got a bit of aura about him as a young guy, which I think is, holds him in good stead. So great to have another Warwickshire lad with us on tour, and hopefully he can take some great learnings out of this trip for himself and take them back to Warwickshire. There's always a lot of possibility of me playing for the Bears. Obviously, it'll all depend again on selection, I suppose. There's obviously a big summer of Test cricket again. I think there's one against Zimbabwe early on, and then 5 against India, which is obviously a big series. So I'd obviously love to be a part of that, selection dependent. But if not, then obviously I'll be around a lot more for Warwickshire. But there'll certainly be a point in the season where I'm in a Warwickshire shirt, that's for sure. And whenever that is, I'll be trying to do my best to win for Warwickshire. I love putting on the Bear and Ragged staff. Always have, always will. And hopefully there'll be a few games at least next season that I can do my part.